That way I can assure you that it
We
will.
are, hey, we live. Bam.
We're live.
We are live. What's happening? I'm here with the great Jabari Irons. I
In
had
progress.
him on.
In progress.
AKA Montez.
Right.
I don't know why, you'd have to ask him. But he's the man. He's here with us. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but man, that Irons Elite Wrestling is just taking off. I see it all the time. I see it everywhere. I hear the people talking about it. Man, good for you. I think when I first started this show and you
like
came
upset.
on, I think you were still going to school at Florida Gulf Coast.
I still am.
Oh, nice, because you were sitting on a bench over there or something talking to me, and it was cool. And I remember you just telling me how, right now I'm just kind of going to school and then someone's loaning me their gym after their practice.
Yes.
And I'm just taking advantage of that. And who would have thought here less than a year later, you got your own gym, your own place, you're rocking.
Well, I think the reason was so that was at Youngquist Fitness. And my hat's off to Christina Youngquist. She saw something in me. And I said, look, I can give you maybe $100 a month. And she's like, don't pay me. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm going to pay you. And she's like, no, keep it. No, keep it. She's like, dude, whatever it is, you got it. Like she's like, you got something in you. You're great. These kids love you. She's like, look, she's like, whatever you need, I'm gonna do it for you because somebody helped me. And ever since that, I've been living by that.
Pay it forward, right?
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's crazy. And she never would take my money. And unfortunately, when COVID came, things got rough and we had to close down. But even then, I had to make a choice. And I'm like, invest my own money and keep it open, but it wouldn't have been very smart because, COVID. And I didn't.
At the time, we didn't know what was going to happen, right?
Yeah. And, people were saying, oh, this is fake. This is, fake news. And so I didn't realize the severity of COVID, but I'm glad I stayed out of the gym until it, cleared up for me.
I think it was good. I think a lot of people, there's a lot of people that wrestled right through it in the back doors, fight clubs, whatever. But, we kept our kids home until we just couldn't anymore. I mean, they got to.
And like I was telling you, I was making, this blows my mind. I was making workout videos that you could do at home. Literally, yesterday, someone says, hey, Jabari, and it was an adult. He was an adult at the new gym I'm at now. I'm at a brand new gym, maybe like 15 miles away. And an adult said, I do those. I was meeting this guy from the first time ever in my life. And he was brand new to the gym. And he said, oh, I follow you on Instagram. He says, oh, those knee up workouts. He was like, I do those every single day and they help my double leg. And I'm like, bro, I've never met you in my life. I made those for kids at home during COVID, and you're an adult and you're doing those every single day. And then we meet each other. And I'm like, bro.
The people that are watching.
I almost cried right in front of them.
The people that are watching blow my mind too. Like, I had you on, I don't know, it might have been May or June.
That was when you first started. You were like 2 weeks in.
I mean, I never expected. I thought we were, this will be a week, this will be a month, and then I'm going to start this for whatever the purpose I had, right? And I'm like, man, this thing keeps going, right? And it's been awesome. But yeah, man, I had a gentleman on the other day that. So how he reached out to me is, remember the guy, Jay LaValle from Virginia that does the stuff.
Listen, I'm the one who, listen.
Oh, you're the one that introduced me to him.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And so how he had been doing it all now. Now he's gotten permission to go live on TikTok. So now he's transferred over to TikTok.
I saw the value in Jay LaValle. Fun fact, when I made my Instagram, I only made it because I'm like, people on my Facebook, I'll get 1,000 views, I'll get 2 likes. And I'm like, Facebook is lame. You guys don't interact. So someone told me, hey, you have to get on Instagram. And I said, I hate social media. I don't want it. It's a distraction for me. But somebody says, hey, if you got a business, you got to get on social media, man. So I'm like, okay. I get an Instagram. Guess who the first person I follow is?
Jay LaValle.
Yes. He has
That's right. you're the one that put me onto him.
Yes.
See how long he did his show on my page for?
Every week, every weekend.
So this guy from Virginia reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I watched this guy on your page.
Yeah.
I want to come on about my book." And he came on, talked about his book. It was awesome. He was a great guy, but
Listen,
he was telling me how he used
Jay is my listen, I call him my mentor. He sees us as friends, but I'm like, that's my mentor. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing exactly where I want to be. And he always says, no, dude, you started earlier than me. You're going to be better than me. And I'm like, dude, you're a genius. I'm never going to be as big. And we're constantly like uplifting each other.
Oh, man, I love that guy.
Cycle.
I love that, man. I can't wait till I get a chance to get out there and meet him. But
exactly,
man, how he does his videos. I mean, it's a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, and he's still. So sometimes it frustrates me, but it motivates me. I'm like, I'll make a video, and he'll make the same type of video. I get 2,000 views, he gets 200,000, and I'm like, it's between me and you.
But you know how he got all his followers, right? The first time on TikTok.
Yes, bird watching.
He posted a bird. Yeah, he had birds coming into his feeder. And he
and listen, what's the crazy thing? I used to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't know, I wanted to see how many birds were coming, so I stuck a camera in there. And then it took off.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, the rest is history. Man, you know, this is great. You know, ever since I met you, remember the first time I had you on my show, I was like, wow. I used to talk about you. I'm like, wow, I don't know where he's going to what he's doing, but this young man is doing awesome stuff.
But listen, but also back then, I kind of made myself seem bigger than I was. You know, people say fake it, then you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I was faking it. Listen, of course, I had like, maybe 4 kids that would be spotty. I had 2 consistent kids. My 2 consistent kids, one was a state placer, Greg Denard. He was a state qualifier, Greg Denard. Greg Denard is from Fort Myers High. He worked with me for a whole year. Boom. Me and his head coach at Fort Myers, Joey Phillips, we got him to become a state placer. So as soon as he placed that state, I was there. And I said, hey guys, look, I helped you create a state placer. Then I got another kid who wants to be Jordan Collier. Oh my goodness. Jordan Collier was a blank slate when I got him. Some kids, they played other sports. They're athletic, they play soccer. Jordan never did anything in his life, but he's a genius. So it was my job to build him up physically, build his muscle endurance. And it was my job to also figure out how can I communicate with this genius? So over the 2-year span, I've seen Jordan not even be able to do karaoke, to cross his feet while moving. And now Jordan gets in on my legs. And I'm like, I wish he was.
I thought you were talking about singing in front of a TV.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
I gotta tell, and I gotta tell you, I had you on the show, so I met you.
Right.
I had met you prior to this. What I'm gonna tell, and I already felt like, wow, this guy's inspiring to a lot of people, and he's gonna do big things. And
that's what I've been doing all day. I've been calling all my friends, inspiring them all day.
And you heard me talking about you, and then Tony Cerullo calls me and says, "Hey, I've got Jabari coming to Polk County."
Yes, he was the first person to give me an opportunity, and I left, and not even 3 hours later, hey, everybody's telling you to come back up here, and I'm like, you're lying. He's like, no, and I'm like, I had 4 kids there. Why would they be begging? He says, everybody saw the videos. They want you to come back immediately.
Oh, I posted them.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Slideshow.
I posted all the videos. And, but there was like 5 or 6 kids in the room. It's a small little club out there that he had. But the way that you were communicating with those kids, I knew immediately. I go, wow, this guy's going to take off. Like, he doesn't need any help. I mean, when I say help, obviously you always bring coaches in because you learn from coaches. And
yes, of course.
But the way you speak with these kids is so, and I don't want to use the wrong word because you say, well, you dumb it down, right? But but it's almost, that's what you do. Like I saw you were saying something. You're like, okay, put your hand here and then put a ball in your hand. And then you're like, take that ball, throw the baseball. and your hand
Yes.
comes right here and land here, and it was crazy. As soon as the kids were doing it, throwing the baseball, because you connected with them.
Well, here's the thing, right? I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. There's a lot of at-risk youth, right? So if you're an at-risk youth, right, you're probably going to have, educational problems because you don't have parents in the household teaching you outside of school. So I also went to a high school that was 90% like below poverty. And a lot of the school had IEPs, which is learning disabilities. So if a lot of my friends have learning disabilities, when I say stuff very intelligently to you, my friend next to me don't know what the heck I'm saying. So I have to learn different, and I always say people are walkie-talkies, right? If me and you both got a walkie-talkie, you're on channel 5, I'm on channel 10. Do you think you're gonna hear my message? Hey, Dan, wait, where are you? You're not gonna hear my message. So I have to keep flipping the channel over and over until we connect. That's why your son said, and your son was one of the best kids in the room. And he didn't get it when I dumbed it down. And he's like, and I'm like, bro, I just said it the easiest way I could. But your kid is probably an IB student. He's probably very intelligent. So when I said dumb, he didn't know. So then I said, okay, I need you to sag your hips. I need you, and I used actual wrestling terms, and then he picked it up. And I'm like, okay, because I'm that person. Like I can speak intelligently. I can go to the middle of Fort Myers and you wouldn't know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, because you have to be diverse in your language and you got to be able to connect with anybody around you. And I feel like that's very important because everyone's different.
Yeah, and definitely can see that because, yeah, like I've heard coaches and stuff tell me stuff or moves or whatever on here, and I'll go to him and I'll be like, "Hey, you heard of this and this?" He's like, "The hell's that?" Right? And then I find the move. He's like, "Oh, that's a butcher or whatever he calls it, or a
Yeah.
wheelbarrow or a dope. I don't know, whatever the name is."
Yeah,
Right?
they call it so many different, no matter
I'm
what
like,
you
sure, it
are.
looks like a arm hook to me or something like that.
Right. And
Yeah.
everybody calls it something different. So you better figure out what they know.
Man, so Tony gave you that first opportunity. We posted
Yes.
videos, and
Yeah.
I made it a point to get there because I had a prior
I was
commitment.
surprised when you showed up and I'm like, wow. I was so intimidated. Like you went live and I'm just like, I didn't
Yeah, but I
say.
didn't even tell. I was like, let's just do it, and we just did it. And
Yeah.
that's how I am, and I just like to have fun. But man, you know, if I helped you, then
You
I'm
did.
good,
You
right? So
you and Tony gave me my first opportunities, right? After that, I'm begging, hey guys, you see how great of a job I did. Please, somebody give me another opportunity. Everybody zipped their lips. And guess what? I got tired of it. I said, I'm having my own camp. I don't have any coaches to help me. I'm going to have my own camp this weekend. And the first camp, I had maybe 4 kids. And I said, okay, 4 kids. It's going to spread word of mouth. The next week, 3 kids. The next week, 2 kids. The next week, 11 kids. And back down to 2 kids. And I said, what the heck is going on?
but now I'm seeing you post sold out.
Every week. I'm at the new gym now. And every single week, the longest registration has been open for 5 days. It was about 4 hours and 4 hours and maybe like 23 hours. But I say 5 days. The fastest it has sold out is 4 days flat.
Because what I'm noticing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you want to be able to teach everybody and you want to make it a group that's the
Yes.
proper size that you could spend
Yes.
time
I
with
don't
each
want to be overwhelmed because I was that kid in school. I had a question and I always raised my hand and the teacher would overlook me because the classroom size is too big. So I keep my classroom manageable. Yeah. So that's just how I do it. Like I want people to feel important. And I tell them, please, and I might look mean and scary when I coach, I don't smile. And I'm like, please, I'm begging you. I keep my classroom manageable. I'm like, if you don't understand the channel that I'm operating on, because you're a walkie-talkie, if you don't understand the channel that I'm giving my message on, please say, hey, coach, change the channel. And I'll say it a different way. So I say, I beg these kids, please, if you have a question, please tell me, raise your hand. And I explained something, and this is funny because I explained it like 10 times in slow motion, as fast as I could. I broke it up in the steps, and I said, Who asks questions? All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. And I went to clap my hands and somebody raised their hand. And I'm like, how many different ways you want to hear it? And then question, and it was the most analytical question I've ever heard in my life. They said, well, if I'm doing this, how do I position my body to disperse the weight when he moves his arm? And I'm like,
what?
I've never heard anybody say that, but and I had to repeat it to him to make sure I understood how they said it. And I said, so what you just told me was when they move their arm, there's a dispersion of weight, and you want to be able to create equilibrium. He's like, yes. And I said, oh, okay, just put your head in the middle of his back.
So you got it. And he could have been like, yo, man, where do I put my thing? But, you know, and you'd have been like, oh, but hey, first of all, shout out to Christian Suarez, Romeo Mascara, Rufus Timmons, Justin Del Real.
Those are my dogs. They're
Justin Finnegan, Tony Cerullo, Eric Lewis. Man, everybody's up in here shouting you out.
I appreciate all the support.
Christian Suarez just said, hey, Ward, ask Jabari what's in the work for camps.
Ooh, bro, I got so many flyers printed out already and created. Shout out to Carlos Diaz, Finesse Photography. He's my #1 guy. I plan on working with a new guy. He just got posted, Julio. He's friends with Carlos Diaz.
Julio Nadar is the one that did my Ward Wrestling Live.
Yes. Hey, speaking of your background, where's my logo?
Oh, I'll put it up there as soon as
I noticed that. I noticed that immediately. I'm like, bro,
there was no Irons Elite when I had you on.
See what I'm trying to say? Look,
there was a Montez. All right, it's up there.
I was the third person you ever interviewed, and look, where am I on your wall?
It's behind my chair. I'm sorry.
All right, I need as soon as you move.
I'll put it up there immediately. But
yeah, I have so many flyers already created in the works. And the reason why I love being an independent coach is because I don't have to say, hey, athletic administration, are there any basketball games this weekend? Oh, sorry, Mr. Irons, you can't because there's an away basketball game. But nobody's in the gym. Why can't I use it? Oh, technically it's reserved. And I'm like, but the basketball team's away. Use it. Screw you. All I have to do is I say, hey, shout out to Justin Del Real and Michael Hosley. They're the owners of Cali Style MMA. We do MMA, Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, self-defense, strictly women's jiu-jitsu, whatever you want, we got it. I'm telling you. Shout out to those guys because all I have to do is I say, hey, Justin, can I use the gym on Saturday from, 10 to 2? Yeah, dude, you got it. All right, bye.
That's it.
That's it. And I have so many camp flyers made. There's sometimes where I'm like, I want to break this weekend. I got 10 flyers made. I'm like, I want to break this weekend. So then I send it back to Carlos and I say, hey, can you change the date on this? And he just changed one little letter, one little number. And then I got a new flyer made again.
Carlos is great. I saw Carlos this weekend. He was up at
he
was up at Life U competing.
He's good.
I met him for the first time at the knockout. I was really happy to meet him. So nice to meet him. I know Julio Nadar because I
haven't met him yet, but I know I will within the next couple of weeks.
But prior to his son being injured, before that, there's a picture of his son holding my son on his shoulders at Disney Duels.
Oh wow!
So we go back to then, and then of course I did the show because gosh, what a story, right? And then and then it ended up being on the news. So it was pretty awesome, and he's just been he's been a blessing for me too.
Right, and what's crazy, the wrestling world is so small. I've been in way different states, Iowa, and I've had mutual friends with people, and I'm like, and they said, yeah, man, one of my friends, he did this, and I'm like, I've heard that story before. I'm like, are you talking about Brooks Clemens? He's like, yeah, how do you know Brooks? I'm like, how do you know Brooks? Like, the world is so small, like everybody knows everybody. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, first of all, I know you got a camp coming up. We talked about it. Talk about it. I know you want to prep a lot of guys for the state run, so you want to do something right before
Disney. So let me start this off by saying I am officially a part of the Florida Pride staff. I am officially a part of the Florida Pride networking team. It's me, Nick Marcus, Ricky Cheese, Christian Suarez, the coach from Freedom, The female coach,
Lindsay Dahl.
Lindsay Dahl. We're forming a mega team because Nick does a lot by himself. And why should you have to do a lot of work by yourself when you can just say, hey, you're already doing what I'm doing. You want to help me out? Let's all help each other out. So I'm on the Florida Pride crew now, and we're going to accomplish some great things. Me and Nick already have the date set. We already have everything. I'm not going to give the date yet, but I want to build anticipation. So my goal is to be a state champion is always the goal. That's the goal. I want to be a state champion. And I called Nick and I said, Nick has been hounding me for like 2 months. Jabari, I want you on my team. I want you on my team. But my thing is like, I want a roadmap. I don't like being rushed. I want to do it when I want to do it. So
Sure.
so finally I said, man, I've been having so many coaches, oh, I can't make it this weekend or I can't. So finally I said, hey, Nick, I have an idea. Hey, Jabari, my wife was just talking about you. Let's work. And I'm like, that's weird. And he says his wife is always like, man, when are you going to get Jabari to come on the team? And I called him. He said, bro, my wife literally just talked about you like 20 seconds ago. And I'm like, that's insane. So I told him, we're going to have a camp and it's going to be a 3-day camp. This is the first 3-day camp I ever did in my life, right? It's going to be at a very discounted rate. Because once again, we got kids from all demographics and we want to come to a middle ground. Everybody can afford it. And if you can't afford it, we can find you a way to get sponsored. So the people that are saving money, they can donate tax write-offs. However, we're going to do it. We're going to get those unfortunate kids a spot on my roster.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you are dedicated and if you support me, I'm going to support you. And because you're reaching out to me and you say, hey, Coach Irons, I want you. I'm trusting you to be my coach. I'm going to do my best for you. So 3-day camp, top, bottom, neutral. And I'm going to teach them. I'm not teaching them anything new. I'm going to take everything they know and I'm going to put it in the works. So everything they know, and we're going to drill that. And it's not going to be where injuries are going to happen. It's going to be slow, methodical, very technical. So everything that they've already been doing, I'm going to fine tune it. Me and Nick are going to fine tune it. And if you're at that camp, listen, if you're at that camp and the winner, like the most improved and the hardest worker, the most technical, they're going to get free shirts. I guarantee I'm going to give out 3 shirts. I'm going to see 3 kids on the #1 podium.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
I like it, man. Keep doing it. And I'm glad to hear that you're growing, you're doing your thing. And then
stay tuned for the dates. Stay tuned. It's the flyer's liable to drop tonight at 12. It can drop anytime. Just be ready when it drops because you 24 people and that's it. So
yeah, because you like to keep it manageable.
Yes, 24 kids.
Well, that's awesome. Well, good for you. And I'm glad that you guys are doing big things and bringing camps down.
Yes, sir.
To obviously that side, because I know from speaking to you, there is a lot of underprivileged kids over there in your area, and
there's a lot of untapped talent as well.
Yeah, and I know one thing that you always. Oh, Christian says in the works with Jabari.
Yeah, me and Christian were talking all night last night.
Oh, awesome! But I know that I know one thing you used to do was when they'd give you that, you would have your practice, and then after the practice, you would open the doors to any kids to get an hour free with you. So that the kids that couldn't afford it, they could come in after.
Yeah, of course. I was that kid that couldn't afford it. I mean, so I know how it feels.
And so now I'm sure when you do your clinics and your camps, there's always opportunities that you make for those kids.
Of course, but at the same time, I can't force you to want to be great. It has to come from here. And if you come to me and you say, Coach, I just want to be the best I can be, but I don't have the money, you're in.
Remember that.
Trust me, I know if you're lying or not, though,
You'll see it when they work, right?
Right, because the thing is, when I used to have free clinics, nobody would show up. I would get 2 kids, and I would do free clinics every weekend. And I'm like, where are all these people that say they want to be a state champ? Like, I'm doing Instagram posts, like, press yes if you want to be a state champion. 32 people says yes. Cool, I'm doing a free clinic. Come on down.
And you'd get 2.
Yeah, when it's free, nobody values you. Like, because.
So now when you charge, you get 24.
Yeah, but I understand how the brain works, but I still give those kids opportunities. The ones who showed up for my free clinics, they're always good with me because I know that's who they're genuine.
And they're probably really good right now.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's awesome, man. Hey, I mean, keep growing this thing. Keep doing it. I look
I'm
forward to
trying my
seeing
best, Dan.
you're gonna try to travel around and stuff, or you're gonna stick to
Yes.
what
So
you
my
know?
goal for the summer, if any coaches are watching, my goal for the summer is to do a whole tour around Florida. My goal for the summer, I want to hit every big city. I want to hit secondary cities. Every week, I want to be in a new city, a new region, a new county, doing another camp. As of now, my schedule is completely open. So from the month of when the summer start for high schoolers, the end of May, sometime in May, I got a clean slate. Oh, time starts now. You hit me up and say, "Hey Jabari, can you be in Tallahassee on May 20th?" I'm in Tallahassee. You say, "Hey, can you be in, Bradenton on July 2nd?" I'm in Bradenton. Listen, I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing a tour around Florida this whole summer. And I'm gonna have Nick Marcus with me. I'm gonna have the Florida Pride team with me. And we're gonna get it done. So if any coaches out there watching, any wrestlers, say, "Hey coach, we need him here," or "We're gonna jump you. We're gonna take all 28 wrestlers and we're gonna jump you if you don't employ Jabari
Yeah,
Irons."
Suarez said he'll do that tour with you.
Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, I think I can trust them. So we're good.
I love it, man. Well, I look forward to it. And if you're up in Central Florida sometime, hit me up. I'll have you come by the house and hang out for a little bit.
Of course, and I hear you're a great cook, so I'm
No,
I'm looking forward to that.
my wife does all the cooking. I just take the accolades. I'll show the I did it.
That's fine too.
Yeah. No, we could get some good food going for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey man, keep doing big things, man. This was awesome. I'm so glad I got to.
Thanks for having me back. I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come on,
Exposure.
you just hit me up, man. I'm down.
Right.
I love
Thank
what you're
you,
doing. I
Dan.
love what you're about. I've said that since day one.
Right. You
You're somebody
have.
I respect highly. So
Thank
um,
you.
keep being you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Dan. I gotta go get some homework done. It's 10 o'clock. My homework's due at 11:59. We'll see if I can squeeze it out.
I think you got this.
Right, of course.
All right, boss. Peace.
Yes, sir.